Hi everyone, how are you all? So, our today's topic from states of matter, that is diffusion and effusion. What is meant by diffusion and what is meant by effusion? With example we are going to see. And what are the laws we have on diffusion, that is Gram's law of diffusion. What are the different formulas we have for the Gram's law of diffusion for calculating molecular weight of unknown gases, as well as we can calculate the water, we can calculate the density of unknown gas, vapor densities. Those all we are going to calculate here. So I will give you detailed explanation of Gram's law along with that problems. Okay na? I am going to explain you the different model problems. So nearly 5 to 6 problems I am going to explain with the different model questions. Okay. So try to watch till the end. Don't skip the video. So try to watch complete video and make a note of it. So which is very important. So let's get into the video, that is diffusion and effusion. So first, what is meant by diffusion, we'll see. So we'll take the general example. By that general example, I am going to give you definition of diffusion. Say for example, in your home, if in Puja Mandir, if you place the one instant stick, then what happens? What are the fragrance coming from that instant stick? Initially it is at that place only. After some time, what happens? It will spread throughout the room. Okay, so that is spreading of the gases takes place. In some time it will takes place. Sometimes it takes so to spread from that puja mandir to hall or kitchen, whatever the place. So it is traveling some distance. It taking some time. Okay, na? So that is it is traveling some distance and it is occupying some volume in certain times. That is what we are calling diffusion. Gas is displacing from one place to another place. And also, we can say that in our classroom, if anyone came into the classroom with very bad perfume or very pleasant perfume, then what happens? It will be very difficult. Okay, because whenever he is standing in front of the door, then what happens? We'll get the fragrance smell to the corner person also. So that is, gases are very fastly diffuses because in between the gas particles, the particles distance is very large. Okay, we had seen the properties of solids, liquids and gases in lower classes. So in solids, the particles will be very tightly, liquids somewhat far, so gases very far. So they are having more rate of diffusion. So that is, they are traveling very fastly from one end to the another end. That is what we are calling the movement of gas from one end to the another end is said to be diffusion. So we can say that in another manner, diffusion is nothing but it is a spontaneous intermixing of two or more gases at a constant temperature and pressure. What happens? At room temperature, at normal conditions of temperature and pressure, spontaneously without any effect of external factors. So directly it will be spontaneously, it will mix up with the other gases. That spontaneous intermixing of two or more gases is said to be diffusion. Then what is effusion? We have understood the diffusion. What is meant by effusion then? Effusion is also nothing but what? It is a process of intermixing of gases. From here what happens in case of effusion? One gas is diffusing from high pressure region to low pressure region through small capillaries. Through small capillary hole is said to be what? Effusion. Say for example, from a cylinder, if gas is leaking from the cylinder, then what happens? Whenever the gas is leaking from the cylinder, then we are getting some sound. Okay, na? And along with that, so in the cylinder we have the gas is compressed at high pressure. So that gas is escaping from high pressure region to the low pressure region. Spontaneously it is mixing with the atmospheric gas. So that is what a spontaneous intermixing of one gas which is coming from high pressure region to low pressure region through small capillary hole is said to be what? Effusion. Is that clear? Diffusion and effusion. I think so you have got some information about what is meant by diffusion and effusion. Next we are going to see the one law is there to explain the diffusion and effusion, that is Graham's law of diffusion. Graham's law of diffusion. According to this Graham's law of diffusion, at constant temperature and pressure, at constant temperature and pressure, the rate of diffusion is nothing but what? The distance traveled by a gas in certain time is called rate of diffusion. So say for example, if it is the gas is occupying this much volume, then the volume occupied by the gas in certain time is said to be rate of diffusion. That is, for example, if I am traveling from here to there means, so I take some time and I traveled some distance. So that is my rate of speed, distance by time. Here also same thing, the rate of diffusion is nothing but water. It is nothing but the distance traveled by a gas in certain time, or else the volume occupied by the gas in certain time is said to be rate of diffusion. Now at constant temperature and pressure, the rate of diffusion of a gas is inversely proportional to square root of its molecular weight, or else the rate of diffusion of a gas is inversely proportional to square root of its density, or else the rate of diffusion of a gas is inversely proportional to square root of its vapor density. So that is, if it is the gases are having the more molecular weight means they are heavier molecules, heavier gas will run very slowly. So its rate of diffusion is very low. For example, if I am taking the methane, nitrogen, oxygen, okay, sulfur dioxide. Among these gases, which gas has the more rate of diffusion? Which gas can travel very fastly? Among these four gases, this methane, because methane has the low molecular weight. Its molecular weight is only 16 grams. But whereas if you are taking nitrogen, it is 28 grams. Oxygen, it will be 32 grams. If you are taking sulfur trioxide, it will be 64 grams. So which is having the low molecular weight, that gas will fasterly it will diffuse. Okay, na? So that is one of the important one. So that is gases which are having low molecular weight, those gases will have the more rate of diffusion. That rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to square root of its molecular weight. I think so you got the information here. Now from this, for the first gas, rate of diffusion will be 1 by square root of m1. For second gas, rate of diffusion is 1 by square root of m2. So then what happens from this? R1 by R2 if you are taking, then what happens? Square root of m2 by m1. If you are doing the R1 by R2, by keeping one constant, that constant by taking the ratio, that constant will be cancelled out and we are going to get this formula. So in the same way, for the first gas, the rate of density of the first gas will be d1, second gas will be d2. That is square root of d2 by d1. So or else we can call it as vapor density of second gas by vapor density of first gas. I think so you have some idea about vapor density. What is mean by vapor density here? Vapor density is nothing but density of a gas with respect to hydrogen. Density of a gas by density of hydrogen. Density of hydrogen. If I want to calculate vapor density of oxygen, that is density of oxygen by density of hydrogen. With respect to hydrogen, if we are calculating, that is said to be what? Vapor density. Is that clear? So now you see here that vapor density, how it is going to relate with molecular weight. If you are taking the molecular weight, so molecular weight will be 2 times the vapor density. Molecular weight is equal to 2 times the vapor density. So that is the relation between molecular weight and vapor density. Now in this case, R1 by R2 is equal to M2 by M1, it is equal to D2 by D1, it is equal to VD2 by VD1. In the same way, just now I told you that diffusion is nothing but what? The distance traveled in some certain time. That is rate of diffusion. That is rate of diffusion will be what? Say for example, the gases travel some L distance, it is taking some T time. So the rate of diffusion of gas will be what happens? R is equal to L by T. Or else, if the gas is traveling, if the gas is occupying some V volume in some certain T, some certain time T. So then what happens here? Rate of first gas will be L1 by T1. For second gas it will be L2 by T2. So then what happens? R1 by R2 is equal to L1 by L2 into T2 by T1. T2 by T1. In the same way, here for first gas V1 by T1, for a second gas V2 by T2. So from this R1 by R2 is equal to what happens? V1 by V2 into T2 by T1. Can we write all these equations? Here this all will be equal to R1 by R2. So we can write it at one place only, no? So you can write those all in one place. You see here, I will give you one simple formula to relate all these relations. Now you see here, R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. It is equal to square root of D2 by D1. It is equal to square root of vapor density of second gas by vapor density of first gas. It is equal to that is L1 by L2 into T2 by T1. It is equal to V1 by V2 into T2 by T1. Okay, so these all will be what interrelated. If you know the distance traveled by a gas in some certain time, you are going to calculate the molecular weight, because gas molecular weight, we know that if it is 1 mole of a gas, then it is weight is equal to gram molecular weight. So if you know the gases, then you can calculate the distance in certain time. So these all will be interrelated. This is Graham's law of diffusion. What about effusion then? Is that have same formula? Yes, same formula, but small variation is there. You see here, in case of effusion, what happens here? In case of effusion, so effusion is nothing but it is an intermixing of gases. From one gas is coming from high pressure region to the low pressure region through small capillary hole. Is called what? Rate of effusion. Now that rate of effusion is directly proportional to pressure. If the gas containing pressure will be very high, means that gas will come from high pressure to low pressure very fastly it will come. If it is the gas is at low pressure, then gas will comes through that capillary slowly. Say for example our cylinder, when it is completely filled, will get the high flame. When it is going to end that gas in the cylinder, then what happens? It will be, that is slowly we will get. Is it or not? That is what rate of diffusion of a gas is directly proportional to pressure. In the same way, rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to molecular weight. So from this, what you can write? R1 by R2 is equal to, so that is P1 by P2 into square root of M2 by M1, because rate of diffusion is directly proportional to P into 1 by square root of molecular weight. For first gas it will be P1 by square root of M1. For second gas, P2 by square root of M2. That is R1 by R2 is equal to P1 by P2 into square root of M2 by M1. That is rate of effusion. I think so you got some information about diffusion and effusion with complete formulas. These formulas we are going to use in the problem calculation. Now what are the applications of this diffusion and effusion we are going to see. What are the applications? So first application is what? By using this rate of diffusion, we are going to calculate. If you know the rate of diffusion, we are going to calculate the unknown gas molecular weight of unknown gas and their densities. If you know the rate of diffusion of gas, we can calculate molecular weights, densities or vapor densities. So those all can be calculated if you know the rate of diffusion of the gas. And you can take the another one, that is by using this diffusion principle only, we can do the atomolysis process. What is mean by atomolysis process? Atomolysis is nothing but it is a process of separation of isotopes. Say for example uranium isotope you can take 92 to 38. So uranium 92 to 35. So these two are having the what differ in their molecular weight. Which is having more molecular weight? This one. So it has the more atomic weight. So then what happens? This can have the low rate of diffusion when compared to this one. So this is diffuses very fastly when compared to this one. Based on the rate of diffusion, we can separate the isotopes of the atom. That is, it is called what? That process of separation of atoms is said to be atomolysis process. Is that clear? That is very important one. Next one, third one. So some people, those who are working in coal mines, they are having some certain alarms will be there. So anisal alarm will be there. Anisal alarm. That anisal alarm, what it will do? It will give the sounds whenever some foul gases or some poisonous gases are coming, then what happens? It will intimate the means it will give the some siren. So with that siren, all the people, those who are working there, they will escape that place. That is, they will vacate that place, and they will be very safe. And after that, what happens? We are going to calculate the diffusion, rate of diffusion. We can give the relation between the different gases. What are the rate of diffusion? So like that, so many applications we can take. Is that clear? That is what applications of Graham's law of diffusion. So what is Graham's law of diffusion? Once again, I am going to tell you the definition. At constant temperature and pressure, rate of diffusion of a gas is inversely proportional to molecular weight, or inversely proportional to density, or inversely proportional to vapor density. Is called Graham's law of diffusion. We had seen the diffusion, and applications also we had seen. So, and also in our home, we have domestic cylinders. How you are going to identify the leakage of cylinder? We will get some smell. That smell is due to presence of this methyl thioalcohol, CH3SH. Is called what? Methyl thioalcohol. So is the component which is present in domestic cylinder, which has some bad smell. Okay, now which has some smell. So with that smell, we can identify the leakage of cylinder. It is also, its IUPAC name will be methane thiol. Okay, na? So methane thiol or methyl thioalcohol is used in domestic cylinder to identify the leakage. Is that clear? Applications. Next, we are going to see the problems. First problem, helium diffuses 4 times faster than the unknown gas. Under similar conditions, find the vapor density of unknown gas, they are saying. So by using the Graham's law of diffusion, we can calculate the molecular weight of unknown gases, vapor density, those all we can calculate. No, so they are asking. So rate of diffusion of helium will be how many times? It is 4 times the rate of diffusion of unknown gas. You take it as X. That is, rate of diffusion of helium by rate of diffusion of X gas will be what happens? So that is 4 by 1. We know that rate of diffusion of, that is R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. So from this, at place of R1 we have helium, R2 place we have the X gas. That is molecular weight of which one it is? Molecular weight of X gas by molecular weight of, that is molecular weight of helium gas. Now what is the molecular weight of X gas that we need to calculate? That is vapor density they are asking. If you know the molecular weight, you can calculate the vapor density. Helium is how much? 4. It is equal to 4 by 1. These two are equalized. So from this what happens? 4 by 1 is equal to 4 is equal to square root of mx by 4. That is squaring on both sides. We are going to get 60. We are going to get the 16 is equal to mx by 4. That is mx. That is unknown gas molecular weight is how much? 64. But they are not asking the molecular weight. They are asking the what? Vapor density. They are asking the vapor density. Now you see what is the relation between vapor density and molecular weight. In the concept I told you, know what is the relation? That is molecular weight is equal to 2 times the vapor density. 2 times the vapor density. Molecular weight is how much? 64. It is equal to 2 into vapor density. So from this vapor density is equal to 32. Is that clear? So easy problem, but you need to understand how you are going to do. Okay, na? So next, coming to the next problem, a 100 meter hollow tube of uniform thickness. So this is 100 meter hollow tube which has the open, 2 ends will be open. Okay, na? Hollow tube which is having how much distance it is? What is the length of this tube? It is 1 meter. 1 meter is nothing but 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters. Now, has 2 open ends X and Y. This is X, this is Y. Now, ammonia gas is sent into the tube through the end at X. Okay, now. So, this is, we are placing what? One carton we are taking. That carton is dipping into the ammonia solution and we are keeping here. And HCl from another end Y. So here another carton we are taking, that carton is dipped into the another HCl solution and we are keeping simultaneously at a time we are placing. That is simultaneously indicates the water both are placed at a time. Means the time of diffusion of both the gases will be same. Now rate of diffusion of both the gases. This is ammonia gas. Now this is HCl gas. Now both will be diffuses. Now whenever these two are reacted, that is ammonia react with HCl, then what we are going to get? Ammonium chloride. This ammonium chloride is having white fumes. White fumes. That white fume ring will be formed here in the tube. Where that white fume ring is formed, they are asking. So at what distance smoke ring will be formed? Whenever this ammonia and HCl are diffusing from this direction, ammonia is diffusing from this direction, HCl is diffusing from this direction. At what distance the white fume ring is formed, they are asking. Okay, na? So we know the water distance. Okay. So now you see here, this ammonia molecular weight is how much? 17 grams. First, whenever you are doing the diffusion related, first you need to find the molecular weight. HCl molecular weight is 36.5. Which is heavier one? HCl is the heavier one. Ammonia is the lighter gas. Which gas will have more rate of diffusion? Lighter gas will have more rate of diffusion. That is, ammonia will travel more distance. Okay, now you got one conclusion. That is, ammonia is traveling more distance. That is, if you are taking 50 meters, 50 centimeters, that is more than 50 centimeter it will travel because it is having the low molecular weight. Say for example, the ammonia is travel this much distance, but HCl is travel this much distance. Both are meeting and we are getting white colored fumes here. White colored fume ring we are getting. Now the distance traveled by this ammonia gas, I am taking as L. Then what happens to the distance traveled by HCl? The total distance is 100 centimeter. The distance traveled by HCl will be what happens? That is 100 minus L. It is very important. Okay, na? So then what happens? We have rate of diffusion, that is R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M2 by M1, that is equal to what happens? L1 by L2 into T2 by T1. Is it or not? We have this formula. So from this what happens? The rate of simultaneously we are keeping means the time of the both the gases will be remains the same. That is T1 is equal to T2, that is cancel out. So length, distance traveled by the first gas. I am taking the first gas as ammonia and second gas as HCl. Then what happens? Here M2, molecular weight of second gas, that is 36.5 by molecular weight of ammonia is 17. It is equal to distance traveled by first gas, that is ammonia is how much? L by distance traveled by HCl will be what? 100 minus L. Because here time is same, that is T1 is equal to T2. Simultaneously both are placed in that open end tubes at a time. So then time is same. Then by doing this calculation you are going to get the L value. Just squaring on both sides, or else you calculate this value, it will be approximately 1.45 you will get, that is equal to L by 100 minus L. So by solving this L value you are going to get 59.5 centimeters. What is this L here? That is distance traveled by ammonia gas. This is very important one. So how you are going to get the options, you know. So just no need of calculating also. By seeing the options itself only we can calculate. The white colored fumes are formed at 59.5 centimeter from an X end. X is what here? Ammonia. Okay, now that is first option. Another option is what? So the white colored fume rings are formed from Y end 59.5 centimeter at 59.5 centimeter. That is another second option. Third option it will be they will change as the L value. Okay, now so you need to identify which gas is diffusing faster? Ammonia. So it is getting the water away from the ammonia. That is the white colored fume rings are formed close to the HCl, away from the ammonia. Okay, now are you understood? So that is very important one. Okay. So next we are going to see the third problem. Next one, third problem we are going to see. What is the third problem? They are saying 720 centimeter cube. That is volume of gas they given, that is methane gas. when it is diffused through the porous membrane in 30 minutes under identical condition, 240 centimeter cube of a gas X diffused in 20 minutes. Calculate the molecular weight of unknown gas. There are two gases are there. One is methane gas, another one is unknown gas. So methane gas volume is how much? Its volume, you consider methane as V1. So it is 720 centimeter cube Cc diffused through the porous membrane at what time? 30 minutes. 30 minutes. X gas under identical conditions, 240 centimeter cube of X gas. That is volume of X gas will be diffused. How much it is? 240 centimeter cube of gas diffused in 20 minutes. That is T2 will be how much? 20 minutes. Then what they are saying? Calculate the molecular weight of oxygen. Molecular weight of methane will be how much? 60. So molecular weight of X gas we need to calculate under identical condition, in the sense constant temperature and pressure. Temperature and pressure will be constant. Now you take the what? R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. That is equal to V1 by V2 into T2 by T1. Is it or not? So we can give the relation between these two. We know the molecular weight, we know the volume and temperature times. So molecular weight of second gas we need to calculate, that is X, by molecular weight of first gas is 60 is equal to volume of first gas is 720 by volume of second gas is how much? 240 into time taken by the second gas, that is time taken by the second gas is 20, time taken by the first gas is 30. 0 get cancelled. So 0 get cancelled. Here 2 12s are 24. So then what happens? It is 12 6 are 72. So 3 2s are. Then you squaring on both sides. X by 16 is equal to 4. Then what happens? X is equal to 64. So what is the molecular weight of the unknown gas? It is a 64 grams. Is that clear? That is the way you need to calculate. First you need to write in proper manner. After that you take the relation from that whatever the formula which I had given from Graham's law of diffusion. Next one we are going to see the fourth question. I think so you have understood this one. Next one. So fourth question. So what they are saying? 200 centimeter cube of ozone diffused in 15 minutes through porous membrane, which is diffused in through porous membrane. So then what happens? 15 minutes through porous membrane, and how much time does 150 centimeter cube of oxygen takes? Here two gases are there to diffuse under similar conditions. What are those two gases? One is ozone, another one is oxygen gas. Now ozone occupied volume is how much? 200 centimeter cube. So that is, you consider ozone as V1 and oxygen as V2. So what is the volume occupied by this oxygen? 150 centimeter cube. Now diffused in 15 minutes, that is time taken by the ozone is how much? 15 minutes. The time taken by the oxygen is how much? That we need to calculate. Is that the how much time does the 150 centimeter cube of oxygen gas they are asking? The time we have to calculate. We know that what molecular weight of oxygen, that is M1 will be how much it is? 48. 1 oxygen 16, 3 oxygens are there, 3 into 16, that is 48. Now molecular weight of second gas, that is 32. Now we know that just now we had seen rate of diffusion of first gas by rate of diffusion of second gas, that is equal to M2 by M1. It is equal to V1 by V2 into T2 by T1. So from this we need to get this relation, that is M2 is how much? 32 by M1 is how much? 48 square root is equal to V1 is how much? 200, V2 is 150 into T2 is how much? We need to calculate. T1 is 50. Okay. So then what happens? 0 get cancelled. By solving this you will get the time. Is that clear? So simple one. By solving this one you are going to get the time. Now that is 16 2s are 16 3s are 2 by 3 it will be. So here 4, here 3. So then what happens? 4 and 3, 2 by 3 is there. Now it is 3 into 15. You do this calculation part, you are going to get the T2 time. Is that clear, everyone? So next one, so that is fifth question. It is very important one. So everyone do mistakes there. So how you need to do when they are saying the elements with atomic numbers they given. What are the atomic numbers they given? 7, 8, 9 and 10. Which gas has more rate of diffusion they are saying. 7 atomic number containing gas is which one? Nitrogen. We should not write N. Everyone will think that 7. So it is atomic weight is 14. That is which has the low molecular weight. So 7 is the correct one. So you don't go like that. Okay na? So 7 atomic number is nitrogen. So oxygen is oxygen. Oxygen 8 atomic number is what? Oxygen. That is exists as O2 gas. 9 atomic number, that is fluorine, which exists as F2. And 10 it is neon. Neon is monoatomic gas. It will exist as Ne. What is the molecular weight of nitrogen here? 28 grams. Oxygen is 32. So fluorine is 90. Okay, now 1 fluorine atom it will be 90. 2 fluorine means that is around 39. Okay, now. So but whereas if you are taking neon, so neon will be what happens? It is only just 20. Atomic weight is 20. Its molecular weight of neon gas will be 20, which has the low molecular weight. Is that clear? So for that reason, the gas which has the 10 atomic number, that gas will have the more rate of diffusion. I think so you have understood the concept of Graham's law of diffusion with different model problems. I think so I had explained you 5 problems which are completely different models. You try to practice all these questions. In the future, I am going to give you definitely assignment questions also related to this. And those who are not subscribed till now, please do subscribe and support the channel. Thank you. Have a nice day. Keep watching Upper Chemistry classes.